Break the Board Sports is your boy RJ Cash. Click that like, hit subscribe. Here we are, Patriots, Broncos. We're finally getting down to the end of the week here as this game, and a lot of things starting to come out now, talking about Jarrett Stidham and books really starting to kind of take a position here. Now, the line is still 5.5 most places, and then this morning we've had things drop down to 4.5 now. There's been some stuff come out. Hey, the line was offset, it's too high. So where I was hoping it would go to 6, now we're setting at 4.5. Now still 75% ticket count, 70% of the handle going to the way of the New England Patriots, 25% ticket count, 30% of the handle going to the Denver Broncos. Now your total in this sets 42.5. Some movement on that as far as betting tickets go. It's almost 50-50, 54% going over, 46% going under. But listen to the money on this. 85% of the money going to the over, 15% to the under. So, again, just a wild way to look at that total as far as it's concerned when you get into the handicap of the game. Now, moving over, again, we talked about it, New England, and that defense has been absolutely incredible all year long. New England, 5 straight wins, 5-0 ATS. Denver, 14-1 over their last 15, 9-1 at home. Their only loss coming 34-20 to the Jacksonville Jaguars at home here a little while back. Now, Drake May obviously had the turnovers, and the questions have to come up. Can he hold on to the football? Because Patriots 16-3, Broncos 15-3. The conventional wisdom is if the New England Patriots can hold on to the football and not turn it over, I think it makes it very difficult for the Broncos to be able to win here. They're going to need some turnovers. That defense, Patrick Surtain and company, they're going to have to figure out a way how they can manufacture turnovers and get short fields for Jarrett Stidham. Now, the problem is New England's offense on the road in the NFL ranked second, 29.5 points. And then their defense is only giving up 19.5, fourth best scoring defense. So 19.5 points given up as to where Denver's gives up 19. So when you add that, that's 38, and you got the 42.5 total that you're looking at in this one. Now, when you look at that total, Sean Payton yesterday came out and said, hey, Stiddy's ready to go. Remember, that was the words Monday. And then yesterday, the words midweek was, we're going to let him rip it. And obviously, Sean Payton has showed the ability to not be patient with the run. You know, the Broncos really haven't ran the ball extremely well this year, and it's really put a lot of pressure on Bo Nix. And I can make the case in the argument Bo Nix really hasn't played all that well. Now, listen, the Patriots have won 8 straight games on the road. When you think about the totality of the Patriots-Broncos rivalry, Patriots have won 8 of the last 12 and are 8-4 ATS in that time frame. But on the road, Patriots just 6-14 over the last 20. And you say, well, what does that trend have to do with anything? Again, I just want to preface this. Mile High is a really difficult place to play. I also want to look at it as it's such a difficult place to play. It kind of mirrors Seattle. And remember, Seattle had the kick return last week that really got things started, really got the ball rolling, so to speak, with that opening kickoff. If that were to happen the same way again in Denver, and the Patriots have to play from behind, which is what you really got to look at and say, okay, can they make New England play from behind? That's going to be a huge, huge advantage for Denver. If New England has to play from behind and Drake May has to lead a comeback, we haven't seen that from him. We haven't seen him in that role in a big-time game, so it'll be very interesting. Now, listen, on the road, the Patriots have been a covering machine. They're 7-1 ATS on the road, is where Denver just 6-4 at home. Now, from a turnover perspective, listen, Denver's offense ranks 23rd in turnovers as to where New England's defense 17. I also think running the football, we talked about that. Denver 117.7 yards per game rushing the football. New England, them rushing the football 118.5 yards per game, as where Drake May on the road throwing for 270 yards a game. Going to be interesting, like I said, to see can Drake May and the Patriots. Now, listen, if let's just say, let's play this out, right? If the Patriots were to come out and Drake May was able to go right down the field and score, the Broncos are in a lot of trouble. If either one of these teams, like last week, remember Buffalo fell apart right there at the end of the half, and it was 20-10 going into the half. If one of these two teams is down 20-10 at the half, whoever's got the lead, I would start parlaying them, whatever the money line is, or playing it straight, because I don't think either one of these teams are built to come from behind against the other team's defense. So again, going to be really interesting to watch is who can kind of hop out, get out there quickly, and maybe hold this lead down. Now, when you look at anytime touchdown scores, Ramon Stevenson, plus 110. RJ Harvey for the Broncos, plus 120. Those are your backs. Travion Henderson, plus 195. Now, I think Travion Henderson, plus 195 out of those three backs, probably the better way to go. I also think Hunter Henry, 2-1. I think that's probably the best bet there when you look at it. Now, the Broncos, Marvin Mims, 4.5-1. Maybe he's there. Evan Ingram, 5-1. He would be the Bronco that I watched there. Evan Ingram at 5-1 would be the guy I was on the lookout for. You have to imagine Sean Payton, he's going to have to try to run the ball because he's got to give Stidham the ability to run play action. Like if he just drops back, I'm not sure that he can win this game. Like I've heard him really talk him up. I've heard the Jeff Hostetler references when Peyton was with the Giants. I hear all that. I get you loud and clear. I just don't know if it's like a reality, right? Because at the end of the day, you still have to be able to manufacture points, and New England has a solid defense. I don't think it's great, and the reason I say that is they haven't played good teams, right? Even Houston last week, their offense has sucked all year long. So I'm not really sure. Now, when you're looking at passing yards, Drake May over 226.5. My first instinct would be to look under. Now, Jarrett Stidham, over under 196.5. Does he get there? Right? I think it's more like a 175 game for Stidham there. So if you go back up and you look at Stidham, all passing yards, right? And again, you can just kind of put this together. But if you did Stidham 175 plus yards, that is 2-1. So let's say you like that and you like the New England Patriots to win the football game. You could go Stidham 175 plus yards on the all passing, Patriots on the money line. That gets you plus 114. I think that's got some legs to it, right? If they're really going to let him rip it, and he's going to have to throw the ball. Broncos haven't been able to run the ball successfully really all year long. It's kind of been a bugaboo for him. When you look at Drake May, alt passing and rushing yards over 262.5, adding his rushing and passing. If you look at Stidham, 212.5 rushing and passing. The passing TDs, I think, is really interesting here. Over under a half touchdown for Stidham. I think that's pretty wild. If you go Stidham, you just do the Jarrett Stidham parlay, right? Minus 110. Stidham to throw 175 plus yards and Stidham to throw a tub. Minus 110, right? Like I think that has you can get somewhere with that. If you put the Patriots in there, it puts it up to plus 190. But we'll call it the Jarrett Stidham parlay. All passing yards, 175 plus, and over half of a touchdown pass, minus 110. You can get that over there at FanDuel with him. Looking at some other ones, total receptions, Cortland Sutton, over 4.5 plus $1.20. They didn't get him involved till late. He's going to have to get involved in the football game. I like Evan Ingram, over 2.5 minus 105. That is something I'm looking at for sure. I'm also looking at Hunter Henry, over 3.5. When you get into these playoff games, I really like tight ends catching the football. You had a lot of success with that in the past. I think that's a great way to look at it. Now, if you look at the first half spread for this game, right? Patriots minus 2.5, but the total over under 21.5. And I think that's very interesting. Obviously, you would look under. Now, you're not going to get a 23-24 that you get in most games. But I'm just curious there, as the game goes on, you're going to have a good look at the total, how the first half is played. Again, I just don't see Drake May and the Patriots going out and putting up a bunch of points like they did against Houston. Houston's defense was on the field a long time. But in saying that, I will also preface it by saying Denver's got to show an ability to run the football. Like, they just absolutely have to be able to run the football somehow, some way, to get some things going there and manufacture some points. Now, Broncos over under 18.5 for their team total. Patriots team total 23.5 right now. Got no real opinion on that. Now, first half New England's total points, their first half total is 12.5. I kind of like under 12.5 for the Patriots there. Again, I think Denver's defense is going to do enough. I think under 12.5, I kind of lean towards that. I'm not like 100% sold on it, but at first glance, when I looked at that, I was like, all right, that's something I get down with. I do like the Jarrett Stidham prop to throw a touchdown and 175 plus yards. And also, when I look at this, I think Denver in all your teaser situations, even though it's dropped to 4.5, again, I can't. If you get Denver in a 6-pointer, you get them plus 10.5, a 7-pointer plus 11.5. God, you put a 10-point teaser together. Denver Broncos plus 14.5. Again, I think you're in great shape any way that goes. So, again, I like the Stidham player prop. I also like the prop of under the first half total for the Patriots, under 12.5. I'll be looking at that. I think Evan Ingram over 2.5 receptions is something that is going to be live. I also want to look. I didn't get it here, but if you look at, see if we can find it. I was looking to see if they had running back here, but I don't see him for the Broncos. Don't see him on this list of player props for the running back for the Broncos there. Jarrett Stidham over under 13.5 yards rushing. I think that's a little high, but we'll see how it goes. I would keep an eye again on the rushing yards for the Broncos. They're going to have to run the football. I know Sean Payton is hard-headed and wants to throw it. But again, I think my best prop, Stidham, 175 plus yards and over a touchdown. RJ Cash, click that like, hit subscribe, Break the Board Sports, giving you stats, trends, and information to help you with your handicap. Whether you fade or follow, hope you win your bets. God bless and happy handicapping.